discuss this further, we're joined by Kamusi Mutoti, who is the Biological Medicine Manager at SAHPRA. Good evening, Mr. Mutoti. It's a pleasure to have you on the program tonight. Firstly, effectively, we know that this gives the Johnson & Johnson vaccine the green light, but I suppose from a process point of view, paint a picture for us in terms of what can happen now when it comes to the administering of this vaccine.
Thank you for having us. Indeed, my name is Kamusi Mutoti from the South African Health Product Regulatory Authority. As you have indicated, indeed, we have granted approval for registration of the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccines in terms of quality, safety, and efficacy. And that means that the product is now available for administration into the people of the beautiful country of South Africa.
When you look at the criteria of quality, safety, and efficacy, what are you using to make the determination? Because I think it's important, because in a moment I'm going to ask you to tell us where you are about the process of some of the other vaccines that we understand have also issued applications to SAHPRA for official registration.
Okay. Thank you again. We have made public the specific requirements for COVID-19 vaccines to all the manufacturer, or what we classify as applicant, when they submit for registration to South Africa. And we have classified that requirement as the rolling submission. Rolling submission, it means that as manufacturers and applicants are gathering information on quality, safety, and the efficacy, they will continuously submit to South African Health Product Regulatory Authority for assessment. And once we are assessing that data, and we find that the data is submitted as minimal as it is, and it complies with safety and efficacy and of good quality, that's when we'll grant the approval of the registration. Although we are aware that the applicant will continuously provide us with the relevant information that we have requested from them.
Were there any concerns that came up during this process of assessing the vaccine itself for SAHPRA?
We, as the regulator, there was no any specific concern that we have raised. We have assigned or attached the conditions on the registration because there are specific issues that talk to our own population in South Africa that we wanted manufacturer to continuously monitor. One other condition that I might share with you is that, as you are aware, our own burden of diseases in South Africa that talks to HIV and TB, we have requested the manufacturer to continuously monitor the use of the product on the people who are affected by HIV and TB, and they will have to provide the relevant information to the regulator for continuously assessment.
What are the other conditions?
The other conditions are that, as you are aware, that all these products are new products, and they are on the developmental stage throughout the globe. They might not necessarily provide us with the 36 months stability data, but they will continuously monitor the product. As the information becomes available, they will share with us. And the other condition is that, as you are aware, that the specific requirements for us as a regulator, when you package the data or information, you package in terms of what we call the CTD information, as common technical documentations. So there's a specific format that they must follow when they are submitting this information to us. And of course, during this rolling review, because we are prioritizing access of this product so that all the population can be vaccinated, they might not necessarily meet those requirements, and that's at the end, after 6 months, we require that they must submit the complete package for SAHPRA to review and then grant the registration that may not necessarily have conditions.
So in terms of the actual study, we have the Sisonke protocol that has been taking place, and that will release its results when those have been finalized. But for the Johnson & Johnson registration that you've now approved, in terms of the conditions that are attached, what would it take for SAHPRA to suspend this registration?
For any medicines registered in South Africa, and this is in terms of our Medicines and Related Substance Act, if there's any serious concern that pose risk in terms of safety of the people that are in the country, we will investigate, and if there's a need, we can suspend registration of any product, be it any other product except vaccines. So that's in terms of the legislature in South Africa.
Let's talk a little bit about the other vaccines. You've received multiple applications for consideration. What else is part of your priority list right now?
We have indeed received other applications from other manufacturers that we are currently reviewing.
Which are?
As I think, as you also aware and your viewers are aware, that we have got the Pfizer vaccines. We also have the Sputnik vaccines. We also have the Sinovac vaccines that we have received that we are reviewing. And we are aware that we might also get other vaccines from other manufacturers who are interested in making these products available in South Africa and also in other African countries.
There are concerns by different experts about the fact that SAHPRA could well be under pressure to approve some of the applications that are before it, and we end up in a situation where there are low-grade vaccines that then will begin to circulate within the South African population. And by low-grade, I mean vaccines that don't really have a lot of information in terms of the trial data that has been conducted so far.
I think as I've already indicated, that when we made public the guidance document in terms of the rolling review submissions, we have stipulated the minimal requirements that we will be requiring, and this is the information that we'll be assessing. And this is in terms of safety, efficacy, and quality. And we will not make any vaccines that are substandards. That does not meet the regulatory requirements available to the people of South Africa. As you are aware that SAHPRA's responsibility is to safeguard the public and animal health by making the products that of good quality, safety and efficacy available to the country.
How much attention are you paying to the efficacy of the vaccine against the dominant variant that's in South Africa?
When we do our assessment, yes, indeed, we are aware of the variants and other circulating strains. And the vaccine assessments also takes in consideration the vaccines that we have in terms of immunological responses. They should be able to offer the relevant protective that is expected. So the one that we have authorized, we are convinced and we are happy with the data that we have assessed that indeed it will offer the relevant protection.
What is the threshold that you're using in terms of the level of protection? Because with some of the vaccines that you're currently considering, such as your Sputnik and your Sinopharm vaccines, we understand that as yet they haven't been tested against the local variant.
What we'll look at in terms of the data that has been submitted, we also do assessment of the relevant and many other studies that are being conducted, not only in South Africa but throughout the globe, so that we can see the efficacy. And if we are convinced that as the regulator that it offers the relevant efficacy, that's when we will proceed and make it available to the public for administration.
Kamusi Mutoti, he is the Biological Medicine Manager at SAHPRA. Thanks for your time on News at Prime.